Hare Krishna. Today we will be discussing Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is of chapter 10 of text 7 translation. He who knows in truth this glory and power of mine engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. The highest summit of spiritual perfection is the knowledge of a Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unless one is firmly convinced of the different appearances of the Supreme Lord, he cannot engage in devotional service. Generally, people know that God is great, but they do not know in detail how God is great. Here are the details. If one knows factually how God is great, then naturally he becomes a surrendered soul and engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord. When one factually knows the appearances of the Supreme, there is no alternative but to surrender to Him. This factual knowledge can be known from the descriptions in Srimad Bhagavad Gita and in Srimad Bhagavatam and similar literatures. In the administration of this universe, there are many demigods distributed throughout the planetary system, and the chief of them are Brahma, Lord Shiva, and 4 great Kumaras, and other patriarchs. There are many forefathers of the population of the universe, and all of them are born of the Supreme Lord Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the original father of all forefathers. These are some of the appearances of the Supreme Lord. When one is firmly convinced of them, he accepts Krishna with great faith and without any doubt, and he engages in devotional service. All this particular knowledge is required in order to increase one's interest in the loving devotional service of the Lord. One should not neglect to understand fully how great Krishna is, for by knowing the greatness of Krishna, one will be able to be fixed in sincere devotional service. Text 8 translation. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who knows this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. A learned scholar who has studied the Vedas perfectly and has information about from authorities like Lord Chaitanya and who knows how to apply these teachings can understand that Krishna is the origin of everything in both the material and spiritual worlds. And because he knows this perfectly, he becomes firmly fixed in a devotional service of the Supreme Lord. He can never be deviated by any amount of nonsensical commentaries or by fools. All Vedic literature agrees that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva and all other demigods. In the Atharva Veda it is stated, it was Krishna who is in the beginning instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge and who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. Then again it is said, Supreme Personality, Narayana desired to create living entities. Again it is said, from Narayana Brahma is born, and from Narayana the Patriarchs are also born. From Narayana Indra is born. From Narayana the 8 Vasus are born. From Narayana the 11 Rudras are born. From Narayana the 12 Adityas are born. It is said the same Vedas, Brahmanyo Devaki Putra, the son of Devaki Krishna, is the Supreme Personality. Then it is also said, in the beginning of the creation there was only Supreme Personality Narayana. There was no Brahma, no Shiva, no fire, no moon, no stars in the sky, no sun. There was only Krishna who creates all and enjoys all. In the many Puranas it is said that Lord Shiva was born from the highest and Supreme Lord Krishna. And the Vedas say that it is the Supreme Lord, the creator of Brahma and Shiva, who is to be worshipped. In the Moksha Dharma, Krishna also says, Prajapatim Charudram Chapi Aham Eva Srijami Vai Tauhi Mamna Vijanito Mam Maya Vimohito. The Patriarchs, Shiva and others are created by me, though they do not know that they are created by me because they are deluded in my illusionary energy. In Varaha Purana it is also stated, Narayana is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and from him Brahma was born, and from whom Shiva was born. Lord Krishna is the source of all generations, and he is called the most efficient cause of everything. He says that because everything is born of me, I am the original source of all. Everything is under me, no one is above me. There is no supreme controller other than Krishna. One who understands Krishna in such a way from a bona fide spiritual master and Vedic literature, who engages all his energy in Krishna consciousness, becomes truly learned man. In comparison to him, all others who do not know Krishna properly are but fools. Only a fool would consider Krishna to be an ordinary man. A Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by fools. He should avoid all the unauthorized commentaries and interpretations on Bhagavad Gita and proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness. Text 9 translation. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are surrendered to me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss, enlightening one another and conversing about me. Pure devotees whose characteristics are mentioned here engage themselves fully in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Their minds cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely in the transcendental subject. The symptoms of the pure devotees are described in the verse specially. Devotees of the Supreme Lord are 24 hours daily engaged in glorifying the past strength of the Supreme Lord. Their hearts and souls are constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take pleasure in discussing him with other devotees. In the preliminary stage of devotional service, they relish the transcendental pleasure from the service itself, and in the mature stage they are actually situated in love of God. Once situated in the transcendental position, they can relish the highest perfection which is exhibited by the Lord in his abode. Lord Chaitanya likens transcendental devotional service to the sowing a seed of the heart in the living entity. There are innumerable living entities traveling throughout the different planets of the universe, and out of them there are few who are fortunate enough to meet a pure devotee and get the chance to understand devotional service. This devotional service is like a seed, and if it is sown in the heart of a living entity, and if he goes on hearing and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Mahamantra, that seed fructifies just as the seed of a tree fructifies with the regular watering. The spiritual plant of a devotional service gradually grows and grows until it penetrates the covering of the material universe and enters into the Brahma Jyoti effluence, the spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky also, the plant grows more and more until it reaches the highest planet, which is called Goloka Vrindavana, the supreme planet of Krishna. Ultimately, the plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of the Krishna and rests there. Gradually, as plant grows fruits and flowers, the plant of devotional service also produces fruits, and the watering process in the form of chanting and hearing goes on. The plant of a devotional service is fully described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is explained there that when the complete plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, one becomes fully absorbed in love of God. Then he cannot live even for a moment without being in contact with Supreme Lord. Just as a fish cannot live without water, in such a state, the devotee actually attains the transcendental qualities in contact with Supreme Lord. The Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of such narration about the relationship between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to the devotees. In this narration, there is nothing about material activities, sense gratification, or liberation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only narration in which the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord and his devotee is fully described. Thus, the realized souls in Krishna consciousness takes continual pleasure in hearing such transcendental literature, just as a young boy and girl takes pleasure in association. Text and translation. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. In this verse, the word Buddhi Yogam is very significant. We may remember that in the second chapter, the Lord instructing Arjuna said that he had spoken to him of many things, that he would instruct him in the way Buddhi Yoga. Now Buddhi Yoga is explained. Buddhi Yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence and Yoga means mystic activities on a mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yogam. In other words, Buddhi Yogam is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of process is Krishna. People do not know this. Therefore, the association of devotees and a bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed and the ultimate goal is achieved. When a person knows the goal of life but is addicted to the fruits of activities, he is acting in Karma Yoga. When he knows that the goal is Krishna but he takes pleasure in mental speculations to understand Krishna, he is acting in Jnana Yoga. And when he knows the goal and seeks Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, which is the complete yoga. The complete yoga is the highest perfectionist stage of life. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization. But still, if he is not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. The qualification is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness and with love and devotion render all kinds of services. You should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. If a devotee is intelligent enough, he will make progress on the path of self-realization. If one is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make a progress and ultimately attain to him. Text 11 translation. Out of compassion for them, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of a knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. When Lord Chaitanya was in Benares, promulgating the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, thousands of people were following him. Prakasananda, a very influential and learned scholar in Benares at the time, derided Lord Chaitanya for being sentimentalist. Sometimes philosophers criticize the devotees because they think the most of the devotees are in the darkness of ignorance and philosophically naive sentimentalists. Actually, that is not the fact. They are very, very learned scholars who have put forward the philosophy of devotion. But even if a devotee does not take advantage of their literature, so the spiritual master, if he is sincere in his devotional service, he is helped by Krishna himself within his heart. So the sincere devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness cannot be without knowledge. The only qualification is that one carry out devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. The modern philosophers think that without discriminating one cannot have pure knowledge. For them this answer is given by the Supreme Lord. Those who are engaged in pure devotional service, even though they be without sufficient education and even without sufficient knowledge of the Vedic principles, are still helped by the Supreme God, as stated in this verse. The Lord tells Arjuna that basically there is no possibility of understanding the Supreme Truth, the Absolute Truth. The Supreme Personality of God, simply by speculating for the Supreme Truth, is so great that it is not possible to understand Him or to achieve Him, simply by making a mental effort. Man can go on speculating for several millions of years, and if he is not devoted, if he is not a lover of the Supreme Truth, he will never understand Krishna or Supreme Truth. Only by devotional service in the Supreme Truth, Krishna pleased, and by his inconceivable energy, he can reveal himself to the heart of the pure devotee. The pure devotee always has Krishna within his heart, therefore he is just like the sun that dissipates the darkness of ignorance. This is a special mercy rendered to the pure devotees by Krishna. Due to the contamination of material association, though many millions of births, one's heart is always covered with the dust of materialism. But when one engages in devotional service and constantly chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, the dust quickly clears and one is elevated to the platform of pure knowledge. The ultimate goal of Vishnu can be attained only by this chant and by devotional service, and not by mental speculation or argument. The pure devotee does not have to worry about the necessity of life. He needs not to be anxious because when he removes the darkness from his heart, everything is provided automatically by the Supreme Lord. For he is pleased by the loving devotional service of the devotee. This is the essence of Gita's teaching. By studying Bhagavad Gita, one can become completely a surrendered soul to the Supreme Lord and engage himself in pure devotional service. As the Lord takes charge, one becomes completely free of all kind of materialistic endeavors. Which concludes the text and translation of Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 10 of text 11 translation. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Keep listening.